Hey guys, how's it going? So today's video is on the Bluesound Node 2i. I know I've been promising it for the last couple of weeks, but there's a few things that I was getting sorted out with it. First of all, it's a great streamer. I mean, I never really thought much of these little one box streamers. Again, it's kind of hard to see in the video, but there's a method to my madness why it's buried back there the way it is, which I'll get to later. I never really thought much about these streamers because I've always used my PC as my streaming tool, whether it's Qobuz Trials or Amazon HD, which unfortunately is not bit perfect, which only the Node 2 or Bluesound devices in general will decode Amazon HD in bit perfect rate. And I think that now Yamaha's supporting it, Denon is supporting it, but I'm not going to go out and buy an AVR just to get Amazon HD bit perfect. This is the way to go. Now, I was fortunate enough that a friend of mine through the PS Audio forums at first lent me this to try out because he didn't need it anymore because he pretty much runs Sonos as his streaming or home streaming and stuff. So this was kind of redundant for him, but he wanted to try it. At any rate, so I liked it so much I am going to buy it from him. The thing is, from anywhere in my house, I can listen to music. Bit perfect, of course. Doesn't matter if I'm not in front of the stereo or if I am. But it's so nice to be able to go on my iPhone, use it only as a remote control. Even though, yes, you can stream audio over Wi-Fi with this because it does have a built-in DAC. I didn't bother testing the built-in DAC. I went straight into my PS Audio DirectStream Senior DAC, which just came back from the factory with a no fault found. Turns out I blew my I2S Chinese adapters up over at a friend's place. Long story, but anyways. Getting back to the Node 2i, I did do some video captures on my computer, which I'll also add in this video. Big thing I wanted to do, and I couldn't do it with my computer, is I really wanted to compare the audio quality between Qobuz, Amazon HD, and my own CDs at the same bit rate as what I was playing back on either streaming service. The CD always edged out, and I don't know why. It's not in my head. It's not, some kind of bullshit placebo thing, but it's not that the streams sound bad. The streams sound great. But for some reason, there's just that little bit of clarity that I get from the CD version. Now, is it some black magic EQ that they're applying to everything they're streaming? I don't know. I don't think so, right? But how you can't go up to Qobuz and you can't go to Amazon HD and say exactly how are you guys broadcasting your streams. There's a lot more to it than that. So at any rate, it does sound great. Again, I'm using my DAC. I'm not using the internal DAC. It was no point for me to review the internal DAC because I'm not a big fan of chip-based DACs, even though there are some really good ones out there. But when you got the Cadillac, I wouldn't call it the Rolls Royce because, you know, it's no. I'm always disappointed every time I compare it to another DAC, other than the Denafrips Terminator, and I'm sure the Hollow May DAC, subsequently. When I plug in one of these cheap chip amp based DACs, it just doesn't, it's no better than what I've got in my Onkyo. It's no better than what's built into my Sony. So bit rate, bit perfect. I could get 192 kilohertz 24-bit playback through only the coaxial output going into the coaxial input of my PS Audio DAC on both Qobuz and Amazon HD. And finally, and then a couple days ago, again, I had no clue, but when in the Bluesound app, whether it's on the computer or on your phone, obviously there's other music streaming services that you can select from, and I see NYA. Holy shit, that's Neil Young's archives. And sure as shit, I logged in, I renewed my third-year subscription. Boom, I've got bit perfect Neil Young archives, which I cannot do on through the website. And I'm almost sure as shit that Amazon HD is using Neil Young's Extreme software to do all their streaming services and stuff. I know in the past I listened to NYA version of Harvest at 192.24 and my DVD audio from 22 years ago at 192.24, and I could not hear the difference. And if there was any difference, it was very, very hard to distinguish. So the app works really good both on the computer and on my phone. The only caveat is if you're on your computer and you're playing an album, don't expect to see it live stream right away on your iPhone or your iPad screen. You actually got to go in there and select what you want to play. At that point, your handheld device takes over. It's kind of convoluted, but it works. It's a little frustrating at first, The app is easy to download. Just go to the iOS store or Google Play, depending on whether you're using an Android or an Apple device. And it's very fast. I mean, I was able to change music. We're renovating our kitchen right now, and I was doing some work today, and I can go into my phone, whatever's on my playlists, boom, there you go. And obviously the other thing I was able to do was through the wired Ethernet connection and my switch, I can access my local library off of my computer's hard drive. So I've got everything at my fingertips. And survey says the difference between Qobuz and Amazon HD, I don't give a fuck what the Absolute Sound said in their fucking article a couple of months ago. Bullshit. There's no fucking difference. To these 51-year-old ears, there's no fucking difference in audio quality. I listened to a 9624 stream on Qobuz and through the Blue OS controller app on the computer. When I hit next track, it'll actually play the Amazon HD version at the same sample rate of the same track. I cannot, and level matching, everything was fine. I didn't have to monkey with anything. You know, both sounded the same, which was a big relief for me because my 3-month free trial of Qobuz is going to expire at the end of March. And last year I'd been bouncing different email addresses and getting free months out of Qobuz. I don't care if they fucking hear this or not. Doesn't matter because I'm sure I'm not the only one doing that. But I've ran out of email addresses and I know I could make up new ones, but what's the point? At the end of the day, the whole family's on Amazon HD. The whole family used to be on Spotify, but now that Spotify has gone lossless, I don't know what that's going to bring to the table, because are they going to bother with 192.24 and 96.24? I'm still waiting for Qobuz to come out with DSD streaming. They threatened that about a year and a half ago. I don't think that's ever going to happen. But yeah, man, it's a really good product. The only thing I had to complain about, and I can't complain on the Blue iOS, my PS Audio DAC will not do 192.24 playback over optical. I've tried several optical cables, high quality, cheap ass ones, will not do it. I don't think it's a problem with the Bluestream because I've used my Sony's built-in DAC and its optical output. Same thing, I cannot play 192.24 into the PS Audio DirectStream Senior DAC. The gentleman that I'm buying that Bluesound off of, he has a Stellar Gain Cell DAC preamp that I used to have, and he was able to successfully get 192.24 to work over optical, but it had to be an expensive, about $100 optical cable that he had to buy, which he did ship to me, and I cannot get it to work. Over coax, 192.24 works like a charm. The other problem I had, and again, this is not a Blue OS issue or a Node 2i issue, it's PS Audio only gives you one coaxial input, one optical input, one AES input, but they give you two I2S inputs. I do use the two I2S inputs, but that's, you know, you guys have all seen that video. One's for DSD playback, the other one's for PCM playback. But because there's only one coaxial input, and I use that coaxial input when I'm playing DVD audio discs, right? I use the PS Audio's DAC for the left and right channels, and the center and surround channels are using the Onkyo's DAC. So now, because the optical won't work at 192.24, anytime I want to listen to that bit rate, I have to turn off my Sony player, like unplug it physically, unplug the AC power, because I had to run a Y adapter to both coaxial outputs going into the one PS Audio input. So that's a recipe for disaster right there. You're not supposed to do that. You can do that with analog, but you can't do that with digital. So anytime I want to use the Sony, I have to put my finger on the play pause button for 5 seconds and then shut it down gracefully, which then shuts off the, you know, the back panel and everything else, and now I can use the Sony again. But the Sony I got to unplug every time I want to use the Bluesound. So this is one workaround that kind of pisses me off, but at the same time, I love the audio quality of the DirectStream Senior, so I ain't giving that up anytime soon. The Stellar Gain Cell DAC preamp, though, did have two coaxial inputs, you know, but I'm not going to reintroduce that into my rig just for the extra input. It's no, you know, it's a moot point. Years ago, when I had an issue with multiple coaxial inputs, I had a Denon AVR 1802, and I actually used the RCA composite video inputs, and I plugged all my coaxial audio devices into those inputs and was able to switch between devices without any issues. Problem with the Onkyo is I can't do that. Even though the inputs and the output are there, I can't do it because it's assigned to each, you know, whatever input. It's convoluted, but you know, would be nice if that would work, because then I could just use the Onkyo as a coaxial switcher and then run that output into the PS audio DAC, but nah, too much work than it's worth. So there you go, guys. There's my meandering, slightly boring review of the Bluesound Node 2i. Great product. I don't know why people would spend $2,000 on a fucking streamer when for 550 bucks, that thing works like a charm. I buy that and spend the extra money on a decent DAC. That's all for now, folks. Thanks again for watching. Like all the other YouTubers say, hit the like button, subscribe if you want. I'm actually over 400 subscribers now, which kind of blows my mind after doing this for almost 2 years. You know, again, I don't do these videos as frequently. They're not as professional, you know, as the other guys do, right? But, you know, again, I do these when I feel like doing them, you know. A lot of these other guys, they have to put content out every week or every couple of days, or, you know, every day almost, you know, with some people, but all the power to them. And that's why they got all the subscribers and likes that they have on their videos. Anyway, guys, bye for now. Talk to you at the next one. Thanks.